Another good morning to you. I'm back with the second video that I'm doing today. Again, this one is in response to some student inquiry about switching from your first point and its first piece of evidence to the second piece of evidence, and so on. I had done our 30-minute video yesterday, and that got us to here. And then this morning, I made a shorter, by shorter I mean like 8 minutes or so, video on transition words and such. But to actually show you how I would transition ideas, I wanted to come back to my particular essay and give you an example here. So, to pick back up where we were yesterday, I worked on the first body paragraph. I introduced my first point. Then I gave some context and brought in my evidence to support that point. That evidence to start with was on Buck's experience with the man with the red sweater and how that showed him overcoming adversity. And while I did okay with it yesterday, I'd actually done this one once before. And this I did maybe a week or so, two ago, with my honors classes, and I kind of like the language of this one better. But since I have two to go from, notice I didn't erase, I just have two different versions. I have choices for later. But we'll pick back up where we left off yesterday, since that's what I actually did the video on. Need to refocus. There we go. Okay, so yesterday's first piece of evidence was that Buck's experience with the man in the red sweater helped show that the theme of overcoming adversity, because while he didn't actually overcome the man, he didn't win in that respect, he stayed alive, which and he learned his lesson, so that helps him win in the sense of knowing how to survive, which is important. My second piece of evidence that I have prepped is Buck's fight with Spitz. So if I'm doing this, I need to now transition from one to the other. Since I have space here and I know that I'm wordy, I'm gonna start writing kind of like up here. Again, it's all one essay, so it doesn't really matter too much. Yeah, move this a little bit so I have more space there to work with. Okay. So I can't just move on to the second piece of evidence. What I see, and I was thinking about this because that's what I do. I was thinking about this last night, and one of the things that I tend to see 8th graders do, and I've read probably, I was counting it up, I've read probably around 3,000 8th grade essays over the past 14 years. And what I tend to see 8th graders do is something like this. My second piece of evidence is, and then they just put in the text evidence, and then they try to explain it. There are multiple things wrong with that. First, is that they're using my, which is a personal pronoun, and we're narrating it. So I really want to break you of this kind of habit. Remember, be like Nike, and just do it. Don't say you're going to do it, just do it. So, I don't want to see you do that. What I do want to see is I want you to shift from thinking and writing about one idea to shifting into the next idea. So we do use some transition words, but we want to transition ideas too. So I'm going to start by reiterating what I want people to get from that last example. Buck's experience with the man in the red sweater prepares him to take on even greater physical adversities as the story progresses. Perhaps the most difficult physical conflict he overcomes in the novel is in a fight for leadership against a more mature, not really sure I like that word, sled dog named Spitz. I am shifting here. Man in the red sweater, Spitz. I didn't use a transition word. I transitioned an entire idea with a couple sentences. Perhaps the most difficult physical conflict he overcomes in the novel is in a fight for leadership against a more mature sled dog named Spitz. This is my transition. Then, just like before, I can't assume that my reader has any idea what has happened in the text, so I need to explain it. Now, again, I don't have the book here with me, so I'll be using more paraphrasing than I would normally. In the best case scenario, I would do what I did previously and drop little bits of text evidence throughout to show that I really can back up what I'm saying. Don't have the book with me, and as far as my organizer goes, I don't have all the pages. I have page 19, there's the first meeting with him. Page 27, that's when Curly dies. And I would love to have more than that, but I don't. I know when in chapter 3 they fight, but again, I don't have the exact passages. I could look them up, and who knows, I might actually decide to do that because I do want to do a good job with this, but I still need to lead my readers in. So, I need to give them some context first. Buck meets Spitz when he is purchased by a mail courier team. The mail courier team of Francois and Pearl. Spitz is their lead sled dog. He has a reputation for being vicious. In fact, Buck's first encounter with him is when Spitz tries to steal his food. Spitz seems to enjoy taking advantage of the other sled dogs. Buck immediately dislikes him, but uses the knowledge that he learned from his experience with the man with the red sweater to keep out of Spitz's way at first. So, a couple things to note. I transitioned here from Man in the Red Sweater to Spitz. Then I provide some context, but notice that even in here, I re-brought up the idea of how the altercation with the man in the red sweater taught him to survive. He learned from it. He learned to survive. So now I'm bringing that back up here, still in providing context. I don't have the text in front of me, so I'm going to have to paraphrase. I do apologize. There should be more direct text evidence. By chapter 3, Buck has mastered his new job as a sled dog and has won the favor of his owners. Yet, transition word, showing a contrast. Yet, the conflict with Spitz remains. As is his sneaky nature. Like when he tried to steal Buck's food. Spitz tries to bring Buck down with a surprise attack. This is where a direct piece of text evidence would be beneficial. And I would love to have it. It's when they're chasing the white rabbit, and then Spitz breaks from that and comes and actually attacks Buck. But I don't have that at the moment, so I'm going to write in for myself. Text evidence here. I can look it up later, and I can add it in. But I do want to get to what I'm trying to convey. So I shift down, that would be what would belong there. So now I explain how what happens here has an impact. Buck surprises everyone by defeating Spitz and ultimately kills him. This event helps solidify the theme because Buck uses all that he has learned from the time he was captured to the beatings by the man with the red sweater, Curly's death, and Curly's death, to successfully overcome his greatest adversary, Spitz. And notice that I put this here. If I had the text examples, I would include here, I would have put in chapter 2, he watches Curly die and learns. Oh, hi, bud. Okay, guys, Atreyu actually joined me, so I want to try to wrap this up kind of quick, but hopefully you've seen the shift while I'm unveiling the story and then also providing my explanations. But like I was saying, up here, he watches Curly die, and at that point he learns never get knocked off your feet.
Hey, can I say something to them? And I got snowballs out, and you can throw them at you.
We have a box of fake snowballs that Atreyu likes to play with. Okay, so hopefully that addition today, showing the transition, not just transition words like I showed in the other video, but a transition, providing the context, and providing text examples. Again, I give more direct text examples if I had the book with me. I do apologize that I don't, but I would give it right here, and then an explanation, and then I transition again and provide the next piece of evidence. That's really what you do. You need to draw a connection between the ideas that you're presenting. Using things like the next example is, or another piece of evidence is really bland. So just actually sharing it and explaining it is much more stylistic. So if you can give that a shot, that would be amazing. I'm going to get going now because I do have Atreyu sitting here. He just got up for the day. And we're going to have some Mommy Atreyu time. So
yeah, because baby brother only had one wake up.
Okay.
Then he
Hold on.
went back to sleep.
Yeah. All right. Say bye, kids.
Bye, kids.